3-2-1 ribs are a thing of the past. Today I'm going to show you how to make incredible ribs that are done in less than 4 hours. So we're going to start on the bone side of the ribs here. We're looking for any fat, any extra meat that's hanging off. We're just going to trim that off, make it nice and even. And then we're going to work on the smaller side. So we're going to go for the second bone in. We're going to remove those 2 end bones on the smaller side. This is optional, but I like to do it. It makes it more uniform and I think it just cooks better. And then from the other side, I'm just looking to take off the extra meat that's hanging off the end there. That's just going to cook up and it's not going to make for a good rib. So again, we're looking for a uniform, even piece of meat here. So that's it for the bottom side. What we're going to do on the top is we're just going to look again for any excess meat, excess fat that's hanging off the ends. We're looking for any deep fat pockets, any hard fat. We're going to get rid of that, but it's going to be a very minimal trim. What we want to do is if we have any nice big fat pockets, we want to grab the ribs with our left hand and start cutting on an angle down. Now you want to do this in passes. You don't want to go deep. We're not looking to make rivets. We're just making, again, a nice even surface, but we're looking to take off some of that extra fat, some of that hard fat that won't render. So now we're going to remove the membrane. This is actually pretty easy on baby back ribs. So you're going to take your thumb, you're going to get it on that center bone on the end, and you're going to work your thumb underneath it. Now the butcher sliced this membrane while he was opening the package, I think. So we do have a slice, so I'm working underneath both, but this would be one piece, and you would just start on one end, get your thumb all the way across, and then what you're going to do is grab it with your left hand and pull right up. It's that simple. So we're going to keep the seasoning very simple as well. You can use a binder if you like here. I'm not going to use a binder, but you can. It will help speed up the sweating of the rub. The liquid in the binder will start dissolving the seasonings, or you can just spritz it with a little bit of water on top, and that's also going to help the seasonings start to sweat out. But since we have time, we're going to do it right on top. We're not going to use a binder here. So we always want to start on the non-presentation side first. So we're starting on the bottom. We're doing a light coating with my beefy beef rub. You don't have to use a rub as a base. You can just use your main barbecue rub that you love. But I'm starting with my beefy rub. If you want to check it out, I'll put a discount code in the description below along with the link. Just make sure you get all sides with a nice coating. And then I'm going to come across very heavily with my rump shaker. This is my all-purpose rub. You can use any rub you want. You don't have to use mine. I also have a rib rub recipe that's really popular on my website that I'll link down below. But you just want to go over that with a nice heavy coating, and then you want to pat it in. We're not rubbing, we want to pat it in, and then make sure you get the sides of it as well. Then we're going to flip them over and repeat the exact same process on the top of the ribs. So this is about 30 minutes after I seasoned the top of them while I got the smoker started. You can just see the color looks absolutely amazing. You can see the seasoning really starting to sweat and grab hold. So this is exactly what we're looking for. Now they're ready to put on the smoker. Today I'm using my Workhorse Pits 1975 offset smoker. I'm using good charcoal, lump charcoal to get a nice base of that coal bed, and then I'm getting it very, very hot before I add the wood onto it. I want to get a lot of smoke in the first 2 hours, so I'm putting these pieces of wood really tight next to each other to control the flame and get a lot of smoke on these ribs before we wrap them. If you're using a pellet grill, if you have a Traeger, you can use super smoke or any other setting on your pellet grill that'll let you get a lot of smoke on these and the most smoke out of those pellets. We're going to put these on and run the smoker at 275 degrees. I like to bunch the meat up together. Any meat that I'm putting on, it just helps it cook a lot more evenly and nicer. And then after 1 hour and 15 minutes, we're going to start spritzing. I'm just using water here and putting a nice even mist across both. And then we're going to run them for 1 more hour before we check them. Okay, so it's been a total of 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're looking for a target temp of 165 to 175 and that beautiful color on the ribs. So it's time to wrap.
Hey, one thing real quick. If you're getting any value out of this video so far, please click that like button below and consider subscribing.
We're using 2 layers of heavy-duty aluminum foil for each rack of ribs. This is just going to help protect it in case one of the bones pokes through. We have a double layer of protection. So I'm using agave nectar as a base, but you can use honey, you can use maple syrup, you can use your favorite barbecue glaze that you like to use on your ribs. I'm going to put a couple slices of butter, and then I'm going to put a nice coating of brown sugar on top. This is important. We're going to put the ribs meat side down on the mixture, and then we're going to do the exact same thing on the rib side. Now we're going to bring the sides of the aluminum foil up just a little bit so we don't leak anything out, and then we're going to take pineapple juice and we're going to pour it on top. Now you can use apple juice, you can use pineapple juice. You don't even have to use any type of juice here. I just love the way pineapple infuses into ribs. And now we're just going to wrap them up. So you're going to take the top side, you're going to fold it in, put it tightly, bring the bottom up, do the same exact thing, and then we're going to bring our sides in. And then we're just going to want to make sure that we're not leaving any air inside there and everything is very, very tight before we put them back on the smoker. So we're going to run these at 275 degrees for about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. Now I'm going to make my glaze. So I'm going to start with half 50-50 barbecue sauce and 50-50 of a glaze, but the glaze is optional. We just want to warm it. We pulled these off at 207 degrees, which is our target temp, and they look absolutely amazing. So now we're going to start glazing on the bottom side of the ribs first. Remember, presentation side is always last. So the reason we heat it up is just to get a much better consistency on the sauce, and it just helps it spread out much easier, and we don't get that thick, heavy barbecue sauce. So we're just going to go over them, make sure we cover every piece. We don't want to soak these. We just want to put a nice thin coating of the barbecue sauce and the glaze on these ribs. Make sure you get all sides as well, and then we're going to flip them over and do the exact same thing on the other side. All right, so now we're just going to put them back on the smoker for 15 minutes to let that sauce tack up. The color on these, everything just looks absolutely beautiful right now. All right, so these ribs are done. They look beautiful, they smell beautiful, they're bending nicely. We let them rest for about 30 minutes before we sliced into them. Let's check it out and see how we did. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking to see. They're juicy, they have a beautiful smoke ring, so we did get enough smoke on there in the first 2 hours. Let's see how they taste. And I am perfectly happy with that bite. It isn't full off the bone. We're not looking for full off the bone, but we get a nice clean bite right through to the bone. These were absolutely delicious. And again, done in under 4 hours. You'll never use the 3-2-1 method again. So please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this video out, and I'll see you in the next one.